Hello, this is Bridget Rowe with Divine Essentials. Alright guys, I have a reading here. I have two different decks out, and basically I'm moving my little thingy so that you guys can see from up here first. So we've got thinking and feeling and wanting and intentions and things moving where they're headed and all of that. So I'm going to plug it here. And the first deck that I used was the Tarot by Tarot Marchetti. I can't think of the name of it, but it's something, it's one of his. And the reason I can never think of the name of it because it came in like a kit, so I can it didn't have like the name of the deck on the kit, but it's like, you know, a tarot for beginners kit that I got a long time ago. But basically the first cards that I pulled were from this deck, and this was the first one out for the thinking. And basically I was asking, you know, in regards to divine connections or soulmates or love situations, and I asked, you know, what is your person thinking at this time? And we had the Knight of Pentacles, which is somebody that's slow moving, but they're like moving slowly towards something of stability. This is somebody that, like, they make it through the finish line. They don't, you know, a lot of the other knights are like, they don't make it there, or they show up and they kind of half-ass it and then they leave again. This one takes his sweet time to get there, but when he gets there, it's worth the wait. It's somebody that is grounded, stable, secure, put together, has value on you, has value on themselves, has something that people would like to have offered to them usually, and, you know, is willing to put in the time, the effort, the energy that is required. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles. So, you know, she, in this energy, align a lot. She's very grounded, stable, committed, put together, has a lot of nurturing qualities. She's like, you know, the mothering energy. She will take care of you and take care of herself and take care of the home and work and just like get it all done. And she also has, you know, value. So I feel like whoever you're connected to may slowly be seeing your value increase, or they could be slowly thinking about the value that they have with you. You know, like, this is somebody that I have a strong, solid thing from, or this person has always been there for me, or this person's, you know, basically the nurturing one. Like, that's the one that, like, I can call on when I need help, or when I, you know, feel bad, or basically is gonna make me feel better. She's the one that's gonna make everything nice and take care of me and love me and support me and, you know, do those things, like, just in a nice way. But then we had the Queen of Swords come through. So the Queen of Swords is a little cold. She's very tactful. She's like got things going on in the mind. She's more about like boundaries, you know. So she's like she's very warm, inviting, like, hey, here's some food, hey, let me rub your back, hey, let me take care of you, let me kiss you, hold you, love you, nurture you, and, you know, spoil you. And she's like, fuck you. Step back, you know, respect me. She's thinking like very logically. She is usually somebody that's been hurt, so she may have been very warm, giving, and kind at one point, but people may have taken advantage of that or abused that. So over time, she may have become a little standoffish. So I feel like whoever you're connected to may be thinking in regards to you. Maybe even slowly over time, they've realized that, like, you went from being very, like, open and inviting and nurturing and loving to a little, I gotta protect myself, I gotta put up boundaries, I gotta hold you back because I can't trust you. And the raccoon is a problem solver, curious, adaptive, entrepreneur, resourceful, clever. So I feel like you may be you may be adaptable, like you may have gotten creative over time, you may be an entrepreneur, you may be resourceful, like she has her resources, like valuable things going on in her life, the Queen of Pentacles, and then she's very like, in the mind. So when you take those two qualities together, it is kind of somebody that's like, you know, adapting to what they need to be, or maybe adapting to who they're around. A lot of times when we show up in the world, one version of us shows up for work, one version of us shows up for our love life, one version of us shows up for our family life, or it's not like we change drastically, but like one person may get one, you know what I mean, like you're not going to show up to work being a hot mess. But like in the best friend arena, you might tell your best friend like how you truly feel about something, or how you felt that day, or whatever. You may let your walls down a little bit, or you may be a little less guarded. Like when I'm around my sister, I feel like unedited. I don't have to put on any like, thing for her. I don't have to be in any weird way. It's just like, you don't have to, she just gets you, like there's some people who just get you, so you can like, you don't even have to communicate fully. You can just like look at them with a look, and they know what you're saying with the look. You know what I mean? Some people have that a little bit stronger than others. And when time goes on, we adapt to the people in our situations and our surroundings. So I feel like over time, as you have grown or healed or worked on yourself, or just maybe dealt with situations that weren't necessarily the easiest to deal with, you could have become somebody that was more resourceful, more clever, more of a problem solver, and it also could have made you more guarded or more protect myself because I don't want to get hurt, So I feel like somebody may be seeing you in this way, thinking of you in this way, and just trying to slowly navigate through this and figure out where they should be or what they should be doing. Because over here, we're still in the mind, it was like, but I felt like we were shifting a little bit. So these all came out together, and we had the King of Cups with the Three of Swords. So I feel like this person does care. They have feelings for you, or emotions are deep for them, but they may not speak about it. They may not tell you about it. They may not even acknowledge it themselves sometimes. Sometimes he's like very much in love or cares a lot about somebody, but doesn't know how to tell that person, or doesn't know how to be in a dynamic with another person in a way that's like healthy, or in a way that's like communicating like I really love you, or let me treat you how I feel about you. Sometimes we will sabotage. Sometimes we will let things that have already happened before destroy what's happening with somebody now. Maybe somebody broke my heart in the past, so I have this Three of Swords wounded self, and because of what somebody else did, I may not want to tell you how I feel, so things get cloudy. There's like this, energy about it that's like, I'm just going to suppress how I truly feel, and I don't want to have that nurturing love. I don't want to have that solid somebody in my life that could at some point then break me, or hurt me, or leave me, or run away, or do whatever somebody else has done. Maybe somebody who cheated on me, or lied to me, manipulated me, made me look stupid, and I don't want that to happen again. So if you have any similar qualities or similar traits to somebody that's already, fucked them over, they may be like, I'm gonna hold back and be afraid because you remind me of somebody that, maybe things were good at one point, but then they got bad. And I don't want to repeat history, so I don't want to go down that route. And I feel like that could be for some of you, because I do have obstacle here. There's the mountain card is like an obstacle, distant, solitude, pride, block, cold, indifferent, interruption, barrier. And I feel like this is something big in the way of the love, and it's probably tied to this broken heart. It's probably something that hurt this person and has become a big freaking heavy thing that they carry around everywhere they go. They're like, oh, it's so heavy. Oh, I don't want to carry this. Oh, it's so freaking tiresome. And like, oh my God, this is just too much. And when you look at, this card, it's like they're right at the breaking point too. It's like somebody's like, I can't carry this anymore. Whatever it was, whatever happened to them, I feel like you guys could even have similarities. Like, you may have been hurt by something or somebody, or things could have just gotten to a point where your guard is up. You're blocking yourself. You're protecting yourself. You're like, I'm going to be a little cold. I'm going to be a little indifferent. I'm going to have my barriers up. I'm going to block myself from any potential problems. I'm going to be distant because I don't want to interrupt my life, or I don't want to interrupt success. So I may be like trying to go towards a successful, resourceful, entrepreneur type of experience in my life, and I would like to get there. And because people come into our lives and sometimes they hurt us, or they break us, or they destroy things, or they lie, or they manipulate it, they cheat, they just do shitty things, it can make us be a little like, I'm just gonna stay over here by myself. And I feel like the two of you could be mirroring each other, where it's like you both want success, you both want to have good things, you both want to be on that fast track of life to like good, better, awesome, 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 awesome. But there's also this big thing that's carrying around that's so freaking heavy that needs to be dropped so that you can actually get there. Because you can't, you may eventually get there with this big heavy thing on your back, climbing up that mountain there, but it's going to take double the time, double the resources, double the effort, double the energy, and you're doing it all on your own. But if you drop the fucking burden, you get rid of that cold barrier, you let your healed heart, love again, or, just take that opportunity, that risk, that chance, that you could get up that mountain pretty quickly and be all right and succeed and have the love and have the warmth and have the happiness that you probably want. But people may be blocking themselves from it because of what they've already been through. So when I came over here, I said, what are they feeling? The Judgment card came out first, and this is like, Spirit's like, burr, 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 burr. I've made a judgment call, or I've made my decision. Like this is the way it is, and this is the only way. And I feel like that's basically how they might feel about, the connection with you, that like they don't really get to say how they feel, It's like I can't turn it off. I can't not love you. I can't not care about you. I can't not feel the way I feel, basically. And I may try to drop it. I may try to ignore it. I may try to suppress it. I may try to carry this big burden around and, not embrace the way I feel. But I feel like Spirit has been like, burr, 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 burr. This is how you feel. This is what you want. This is what you need to do. But you can carry around that big burden and use your free will to keep your broken heart, to be cold, and to stand back, and, keep yourself from your wishes coming true very quickly, because you are just being stubborn, or you're being, foolish, or you're being standoffish, guarded, not allowing things in. Also, I'm asking, how do they could feel about you? So they could feel that, like, you are somewhat of a wish come true. Like they may feel like their wishes could come true with you, but there's also a fear around that, or a fear that, what if they don't? Or what if I finally get all that good stuff, but then it goes away, or then we break up, or then, something bad happens, which, life is life. We can't control life. Like, people could be here today, gone tomorrow. You could be on top of the world with a great, awesome thing happening, and then something bad happens, and it's all over. So sometimes we're carrying around these burdens and these things, and we're slowing ourselves down. We're doing all these stupid mind messes in ourselves. We know what we want. We know what we would like to have. We place people up on pedestals out of our reach, and then we are by ourselves, feeling alone and cold and miserable and
like left out in the cold, feeling like even if you have money, it's like, what the fuck's the point of having the money if you don't have anybody to share it with or go and explore and have fun and do things with it? It's like, yeah, I got a bunch of money in the bank. What the hell does that matter? Um, if you're not, enjoying your time with the people around you, or owning up to like how you feel about the people around you, you know. So I feel like there is like a chemistry between you, a lust, exhilaration, celebration, explosives, holiday, hot sex, passion. So it's like I'm saying, like they may have that judgment, feel like that judgment, like spirit has like basically made it clear that this is where your wishes are. This is where your dreams come true. This is where all of these wonderful, hot, sexy, awesome times could be played out. But because of what you've already been through, and I feel like it's not just one of you, it's both of you, like what you guys have been through, where you are right now, there's a suppression of the emotions, there's a suppression of the feelings, there's like a big heavy thing that's being burdened and carried around, and it's keeping you on like that slow flow, that slow go towards where you want to be. And I feel like you're not really going to get here without the other. It's like once you drop the burden and you embrace the feelings and you communicate and give back and forth equally in balanced ways, you'll have that exhilarating hot chemistry, that desire, that fulfillment, that wishes coming true, all of those good things that you're feeling separate from because of being afraid of it at the same time. So it feels like basically these people are just like, they care about each other a lot, but they also afraid of like the fullness of it, or afraid of each other, or afraid of being left out in the cold. But the fear of being left out in the cold is leaving them out in the cold because they're not embracing what they truly want or feel or desire. They're not going towards that thing because that thing might end up hurting me. So in the freaking weirdness of the way things work, I'm hurting myself by not going towards it. I'm keeping myself out on the outskirts of it. I'm not going to allow it in, because if I allow it in, it might leave. So if I just don't ever let it in, then it can't leave. But if I don't ever let it in, then I don't have it. So I'm still here in this place of feeling alone and miserable. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. We got to take the risk. We got to drop the burden to go towards the good, hot, awesome, fun. Yay. But people are people and do what they do. And so then for here, again, I was like still getting what they feel. I feel like this person is wounded. Okay, I think that they're like the wounded warrior, or the wounded healer, the person that is like been hurt. But the Nine of Wands is like, I'm tired, and like I've been through the battlefield, and things have sucked, and life has hurt me, and people have hurt me and lied to me and used me, manipulated me, did whatever they did, and it sucked. But I'm not giving up. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make my life, better. And I feel like whoever you're connected to, again, we have the Queen of Swords, now we have the King of Swords. He could be a little cold, aloof, but he's very logical. He's not going to lie to you. He's going to tell it as it is, and, think a lot and just be very, like, in the mind. So I feel like they're not giving up, and in the mind, they're thinking about these things, like, how can I move forward with myself, or like, how can I have this valuable new beginning with the person that I love and probably loves me. So again, we have the King of Cups back there. We have the Queen of Cups here. We have the King of Swords here. The Queen of Swords back there. It's like I feel like you mirror each other. You love each other. You match each other in the mind. You match each other in energy. You match each other in all the ways. But you may show up to the places or to the times together like opposing each other. It's like you got the duality, or the divine feminine, the divine masculine. It's like you both do think, want, feel all the same ways, but you may verbalize it a little differently, or you may fully flow into those energies in and out with like each other. You know what I mean? Like sometimes one of you may say like, I really like this thing, and it's awesome, this thing is great, and the other one's like, wow, this thing over here, this is a nice thing. But it's like the way that you both verbalize it to each other, you don't both understand each other. It's like there's like a barrier. There's like oh, I didn't really hear that, I didn't get that, from you. Like there's just like you guys are both saying the same fucking thing, you're both thinking the same thing, you're feeling the same thing, but the way that you word it to each other, or the way that you are feeling in the moments, may contradict or make you think opposite, or just not just doesn't communicate appropriately sometimes. And so you're like on a different wavelength from each other at some points, and that may cause some issues or some barriers or burdens or blockages, because it's just like it's just a language barrier or something. But I do feel like, because the King of Cups is back there, Queen of Cups is up here, but we have the King of Swords here with the Queen of Swords back there. So it's like you guys both embody the same things. You guys are both made from the same stuff. You both feel and do and think all these same things, but you're just maybe doing it at different times or in different ways. Hopefully that makes sense, because I feel like I'm doing that thing right now where it's like, you guys probably know what I mean, but like I'm trying to explain it, but it's like there's a little bit of a, like, I can't really fully say what I'm trying to say. So I know some of you probably get it, and others will be like, what? But he showed up with her back there in the beginning of the mind. Then in the feelings, he shows up, who is her counterpart, when she shows up, which is his counterpart. So it's like, you guys have all the same stuff. You feel the same things. You want the same things. You love each other, care about each other, feel all the ways that you feel. But there's a freaking barrier. There's something that is like an interrupt. It's causing this solitude. Is causing differences. It could be the pride. It could be the ego. It could be just the choice of words or the timing of things. Like whenever I'm feeling really lovey-dovey and I want to do this and that and all these other things, the other one may be too logical and in the mind and doing something else. And then vice versa, it could play out the other way too. Like when this one's feeling all logical and in the mind and being like very by the book about something, that's when the other one is like, oh, rah, 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 rah. So basically, you guys need to drop your burdens, not giving up, and allow yourselves to get on the same page at the same time, and instead of having this big barrier that's interrupting things and causing indifferences because of the pride and the ego and the fears and the doubts and whatever's happened in the past, have that valuable new beginning where you get resourceful and creative and you have those good ideas, and overcome the seclusion and the leaving yourself out in the cold and feeling separate from the things that you want, so that you can have that explosive chemistry, that hot holiday, that awesome time with the person that mirrors and matches you and basically is the same thing as you, thinking all the same ways, feeling all the same ways, wanting all the same things. You just need to learn how to communicate it to each other or be on the same page at the same time as each other. So then down here I had, what are they wanting? And I had the Six of Swords came through for this, and then we had the Ten of Swords come through. So I feel like basically what this was saying is like, this is like, I want to go towards better times. I want to have like a movement towards mental clarity. I want to have like calmness in my life. I don't want to have like big storms brewing. Like this is like, I'm moving into better days. I'm moving into better energy. Like it was a big rough sea over there, but now I'm going to slowly travel to where it's nicer and get out of there. And with the Ten of Swords, I feel like there was probably a painful ending or a painful time or a painful experience that's what we're moving away from. We don't want to be there anymore. We don't want to be in that hurt. We don't want to be in that pain. We want to have that valuable new start with somebody that we care about, that we feel this like judgment call from spirit, like our wishes can come true. We can have that explosive, awesome stuff with. So I feel like basically if you had a painful ending, you had some falling out, you had a difficult time period, or those mountains were big and heavy in the way of your connection, it's like, I want to get away from that. I don't want to stay in that energy anymore. I want to go towards where I can be like having a celebration. I want to have a good time. I want to enjoy myself. Like, I don't want to be hurt anymore. I don't want to be in the pain anymore. I want to start over. I want something to feel good, and to be sure of myself, to be sure of what I'm doing, to be sure of you. And I want this chapter to close. I'm ready for this part of the story to end. This book needs to, so I can start a new story and have a new chapter and have new explosive, awesome things happening in my world, because the world I'm living in right now, I'm separate from my dreams, I'm separate from my desires, I'm separate from that person that is going to make me feel all those ways that I would like to feel. And the house came through, which is a home, belonging, roots, comfort, safety, family, traditions, buildings, shelter, and boundaries. So we can still have healthy boundaries. We can still have safety. We can have comfort. But we can also be sheltered together and be where we belong and start our traditions and put down roots with our family and make a home with something that is going to be withstanding and long. And the way that we do that, in a way that we know it's not going to break apart or fall apart or be like, bleh, it's not going to end badly, is through being a problem solver, getting adaptive, asking questions, being creative and resourceful, doing the things that need to be done in a connection with anybody on the planet. It doesn't matter who it is or when you meet or all of that stuff. You have to slowly figure it out. With that Knight of Pentacles, it's like we're going to take our time and figure out, how we're going to do it, where we're going to do it, when we're going to do it, and all of that stuff. And we're not going to allow what already happened to us before with other people to play such a big, significant role that it keeps us from that one that we're supposed to be with, So we're going to drop those burdens. We're not going to give up. We may be wounded healer or wounded warrior or somebody that's been through this shit. But if we get adaptable and creative, we can take those burdens and that big freaking mountain of shit and learn together how to overcome them. So it's like we've got to heal, we've got to learn, we've got to grow. There may be trauma that you've been through, or there may be just life. Everybody's been through life. Everybody's had bad shit. So if you're, maybe you had issues with your mom, or maybe you had issues with your dad, or maybe you had issues in a love situation that ended bad, well, then this is the energy that we would want to get into, of like, let's nurture and reparent, or nurture and love, and take this stuff that was really difficult and painful and move away from it slowly with those resources of like finding out what we need to do to acknowledge it, like counseling or exercises or meditation, and acknowledging it, and talking about it, expressing things, putting an end to that chapter and starting a new chapter of healing, where we don't pretend that it never existed, but we do the work that needs to be done to get over that fucking mountain. And if you do it with somebody else, you get there in half the time, much easier, because you're working with a team, and you're bringing and collaborating and moving towards easier motion. And then I had these cards come through with the Ace of Swords and the Death card. So I feel like there is, again, somebody like wants to think and speak and communicate in a fresh new way. Like, I don't want to rehash all this old stuff. I don't want to hurt anymore. I don't want to do anything that's going to like keep me in that place of feeling like I'm separate from where I want to be. I don't want to be like, hurting anymore. I want to be feeling warm. I want to communicate and express myself in a nice way. I want things to come to me easily. I want to have that clear communication with somebody. I want my ideas to be like understood and shared, and just have that fresh spark, that new beginning of communicating, so they could think like, I want to reach out and say something, but I don't want it to end in the way that it has before. I would like to acknowledge you in a new way, and maybe take my time and go slowly with it, so that I don't end up on that mountain again like, oh my god, how did I get back here with all these heavy things on me and I'm by myself and everything sucks. So I need to have a death of the old version of myself, a death of those old fears, a death of the old thoughts, a death of the stuff that's been keeping me from being where I want to be. And then we have the Knight of Swords with the Death card. So I feel like in the past, this may have been like something that has been like brewing, you know. It's like you may have history, you may care about each other, you may like each other. So it's like this person could have rushed in the past to speak their truth, but then because sometimes we have all of this passion, this chemistry, this desire with somebody, it's like things move too fast just naturally on their own, which it does. Like if you have something with somebody that is like your, you know, judgment calls, like, hey, like this is your wish come true, this is the one, this is, things just naturally progress fast because of that belonging. It's like this is the one that you're supposed to do that stuff with. This is the one that loves you, cares about you, is on the same wavelength as you, thinks about things the same way you do, has the same fears as you, so is gonna self-sabotage in similar ways as you do, and you're both gonna probably mess up along the way. But unfortunately, if you don't have all the tools or all the healing done, if you don't know exactly where things are going or how you're going to get there, you know, old stuff comes up. And usually, especially like with the twin flames, right? They're your mirror. They trigger you. But over time, you heal. So you get further along each time without those triggers being such a trigger. And it's like, okay, like the things that used to trigger me, like we could only talk for like a minute and then we were like, wah! Over time, it's like, oh, now we can see each other for like a day and it's totally fine before we get triggered. Now we see each other for like a week and we're totally fine and we don't get triggered. Now we see each other for like a month and we're totally fine and we don't get triggered. And then we hit like, you know, it's 3 months and, you know, oh, there's a trigger. You know, it gets further along until the triggers are no longer there, or until you realize, like, okay, that doesn't work when I do that, and when I think this, it doesn't usually pan out that well. And all the times that I've, like, you know, thrown in the towel or done all this shit or said all whatever I said, I keep coming back to the same thing, or I keep coming back around to like try again because I don't want it to go away because it's my wish come true. It's like the one that I feel all this stuff with. It's like where I belong. So I want the celebration, I want the good times, I want to have all of that lovey-dovey stuff, and I don't like it when I'm away from it. It doesn't feel nice. I'm left out in the cold, you know. I want to have that start, but I don't like the end. So we got to communicate and learn how are we going to do that, you know? How are we going to make sure that that doesn't keep failing or messing up or whatever? It's like we got to put down the healthy roots, be resourceful, adaptable, but also not just like rush all willy-nilly and just shoot things off and be crazy or whatever. So it's like the person may want to rush in. I feel like they want to rush in and say something, but they also maybe have learned over time that that doesn't always pan out the best when I do that, because sometimes after I do that, maybe my mind changes because now I'm scared, because now I'm getting closer to that celebration. Now I'm getting closer to that wish coming true. Now that house, that comfort, that home, that shelter, that tradition, all that stuff is like right there on the edge. And I've never been there because I'm on the other side of the mountain. So when I'm on that peak of the mountain and ready to descend over to that place where everything is lovely and awesome and wonderful, I freak the fuck out because I don't know, like, if it's gonna mess up. So I might as well self-sabotage, which we all do. We always self-sabotage, and then do the one thing that probably shouldn't be done, or think the thing that shouldn't be thought. Feel the feelings that, you know, bring up the anxiety, and basically take that celebration and they make it like, ugh, kill it, basically. So we had the death card twice. And this is like passionate, perceptive, focused, determined, fixed, resourceful, possessive, psychological, deep, prowling, probing, and sexual. So I feel like a death of the old is definitely required on both sides. Like, you both need to stop thinking the way that you think about things when you are doing those beliefs of like, oh, like nothing ever works out for me, or things always end bad for me, or this person's gonna hurt me, lie to me, you know, abuse me, use me, lose me, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not worthy of this, I'm not worthy of that. And also sometimes just not, like if you grow up in a situation or in a lifestyle like where you never really saw things between people in a way that like is healthy and should be done, you know, it's not to say that like maybe like your parents could be good parents, but maybe they didn't have like the healthiest relationship, or they didn't have like the healthiest communication skills, or they didn't have the healthiest, you know, way of approaching something. And so the way that you now go out into the world and you connect with others, or you create bonds, attach, you know, feel, think, approach all of the life that we live, if you didn't see things done in a way that were like, you know, the way that they should be doing, if we want to have a good, successful place on the other side, then you might mess things up on purpose sometimes, and then not on purpose other times. It gets layered, it's confusing, and it's like, oh shit, like what? I don't even know what I'm doing, but nobody does. So we always have to figure it out as we go. So basically, the death of like what we've been doing in our lives, or the ways that we've been thinking about things in our lives, the fears, the self-sabotaging, all that stuff needs to be cut out so that we can move forward into a better direction. So when I asked, you know, like what are their intentions, I had the Two of Swords come out, but it came out in reverse, like it landed in reverse. And I was thinking, their intention is to make up their mind, you know? So maybe they haven't known what they're doing or what they want or where they're going or who they, like, are going to get there with, or, like, maybe they feel that judgment from spirit of, like, this is your thing, this is where you should be, or this is the place, this is the one that gives you all of this lovey-dovey, awesome, woohoo. But they may doubt it sometimes, or they may be, what if it's not? Because like we all hear shit, right, through our lives, and everybody has opinions through life. So some people will say, oh, if it feels this way, it's the best thing ever, you should definitely pursue that. And other people will say the same thing, like, oh, you feel that way, you think that thing, oh, you gotta run away from that, that's a bad thing. So it's just a matter of perspective. It's a matter of he said, she said, or whatever somebody, some person, somewhere thinks. And then it gets put into a book. It becomes popular among others. But then there's always the other flip side of all things. This is duality. This is where we live. There's never going to be one straight, all the way answer that everybody on the planet agrees with about anything, really. So, you know, like the chemistry, like some people be like, oh yeah, you gotta have this. Like people search for this, seek this out, they long for this. Like they try to like establish it in shitty relationships that don't have it, where they're like, oh, we love each other, but we don't enjoy each other on a, you know, passionately. We don't have that chemistry. We don't have that spark. But we're like, you know, but we both like Fruit Loops. I don't know, like what the hell. So they try to like, you know, get help from people on how to like get this into their life with the person, because they don't have it, because they don't communicate on the same level, or they don't explore those things, or they don't share those things, they just like hold it all in. But then the other flip side of that is like people say sometimes, like when you have this, it's not good, like the one that makes you feel this way is gonna hurt you, you're gonna leave them, like, you know, run away. It's like, it's only if you think that shit that you're thinking and feeling like, oh, this is bad. If you think that's bad, it's gonna be bad. But if you think it's great, it's gonna be great. Because when you don't have it, you're gonna seek it out. So if you go into a connection where this doesn't exist, you might as well say, I'm gonna go into this, and eventually I'm gonna feel lack, I'm gonna feel something's missing, and I might go explore to find it and get it somewhere else, and then hurt everybody involved, because that's where we bring third parties in. Like if you don't have somebody that can give you all this, it's like you probably should find that before you commit and jump in all the way, because this is enjoyable. Everybody likes it. Like why don't we want it? You know. So that's just like one example of the many things that are out there in life about love and about people and about whatever, that there's like two very different paths or two very different belief systems around Oh, do they make you feel nervous? Well, then that's bad. Run away. Oh, but do they make you feel like, oh yeah, well then go towards it. That's great. It's like you just got to decide for yourself. You can figure out who you are, like where you stand with things. Like, do I want that in my life, or do I want to fucking miss out on that all the time and think about it but never have it because I think that it might be bad, you know? And then for this Eight of Wands, this is like, I feel like basically like I want to make up my mind. I don't want to be on the in between world anymore. Basically, wherever their beliefs are in regards to life and love and like where they want to go with things and who they're supposed to do that with and all of that stuff. I feel like they want to just make a decision and then take action and communicate and travel the distance that could be there, because again, we had that Queen of Swords, it's like kind of aloof and stand backish. We have the King of Cups, who's like, you know, I'm suppressing, I'm holding it all back, I'm not telling you. And then, you know, we have all this other stuff going on here. So I feel like basically I want to make up my mind, close that distance that maybe be created between us, because I right now maybe see you from afar, or I'm on the outside looking but I'm not telling. You know, I have this thing I want to say. I want to rush in and say it, but I don't want to mess it up either. Or I don't want to rush in and say it, but then change my mind because of fears or doubts or self-sabotage or false beliefs or subconscious conditioning that makes us do shit that we don't want to do. Like, you could feel totally in love with somebody, be like totally in it, like I'm gonna rush in, I'm gonna tell them how I feel, I made up my mind. But if your subconscious believes like that you shouldn't, like that you're not good enough, or this person's gonna hurt me, or like whatever your subconscious believes that's in opposition to the like truth of the fact that I do love you, I do want to be there, I do want to come, you know, make this stuff happen. If your subconscious thinks opposite, your subconscious will make you screw that up or not actually go through with it, or run in the other direction, or run in and say it but then like disappear right after you say it because of your fears, your doubts, your whatever you got going on. It's like it's a horrible thing. It messes with you. It messes with all the good stuff of life. It usually causes people to do some stupid shit, but that's why I was saying, like, we transform the mind, we transform the beliefs, we think new thoughts, we think and believe new beliefs. We can get to where we want to get in an easier way, but it takes work, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort. So with the Fool, I feel like again, they do want to be like, they see the opportunity, they know they want to embrace the unknown, they want to jump in and do it. They want to innovate, and they want to just let it be, let it go, like have fun. That Three of Cups, like I want to have that exhilaration, I want to feel that passion, I want to be happy, I want to enjoy myself, and not worry about what other people are thinking, or what other people said, or what other people did, or where I've been, or who did what, or what could possibly go wrong. I don't want to do all that. I want to just enjoy and jump in and have fun and be like, yay, this is great. So they do want that, and I feel like that's the intention, but they may be still trying to make up their mind about, like, is this really like my beliefs, or is this like somebody else's beliefs, or what do I want to believe, what do I believe, who am I becoming, where do I want to go with life. You know, sometimes we just can be confused because of all the shit out there that's out there, or because of what our subconscious thinks in opposition of our conscious mind. So with this is the White Wolf: confidence, guidance, trust your gnosis, freedom, resilience, stamina, believe in your power. So I think the intention is also backed up by spirit. You know, it's like, cause we had that judgment call from spirits. Like, spirits like guiding this person, showing them the signs, the synchronicity. Like, hey, dude, like this is your home. This is your belonging. You have to believe in your power that you can have it though before you will have it. You can't think like, oh, that's the one, but I'm not good enough for them. So, because if you do, you screw it up. You don't get it. You're on the other side of the mountain. But when you have a death of that version of yourself that thinks those thoughts and you jump in, you get to the other side of the mountain. You have the good experiences. You reach the temperance. You have the balance of the passion and the emotion. You have the unconditional love. You have that fire explosive chemistry. You have one foot on solid ground, one foot in your emotions. You have the balance of duality, the white and the dark, the good and the bad, the up and the down, the back and the forth. It's like you find your place within life. You find your place within your mind. You find your place within your emotions, and you find the person that is able to show up there with you and to bring that temperance between all things and make things nice. So these two here came out, Diamond Ring, which is proposal, engagement, promise, partnership, agreement, next level, marriage, union. And then the Stork is transformation, change, active, renew, restless, arrive, depart, renovate, move, pregnancy, birth. So I feel like basically they have the intention to make things work, or to have the transformation, and to, have that rebirth, or that new start. Like, this is a total change, this is a total renewal, but it's like, I'm going to arrive and bring something new to life, because I'm ready to be moving to the next level. I'm ready for marriage and union and promises and partnership. I want to make that agreement and have a thing that's going to be working out. So I said, where are you headed? And I got 3 of Pentacles, which is like working together to build something stable. And I got the 6 of Cups, which is like reconciling. But then I got the 7 of Wands. So this is like basically somebody who's got their guard up. But I feel like what this was saying is that you guys are going to learn how to work with each other's boundaries. You're going to learn how to reconcile with, also self-preservation. And so it's like, if we do get married, we're gonna have a contract, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have a what do you call those, a prenup, right? So it's like, we're gonna discuss how this partnership is. We're gonna discuss what you do, what I do, and what that means, and when we do it, and basically put it all on the table, black and white, have a blueprint for the reconciling, so that we can enjoy all of this wonderful stuff and not worry. Because we've put all the stuff out there. We know all the things. Like, you decided this, I decided that. So now, because of that, we can have the good things. So the Knight of Wands was here, and he's the one that comes rushing in. He usually brings a lot of that chemistry, that passion, that desire, that drive. He's like, burr, 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 burr. But sometimes he rushes in and rushes out, or he falls a little short with the long term of stuff. But we also had head of the pack, successful, competition, drive, get it done, finishing first, dominate, persist, will to win. So I feel like, instead of looking at this as like, this is the bad, like, this is only going to be so long, or they're not going to last, or they're going to, hit it, quit it. If those boundaries are in place, and that those contracts are signed, or the feelings are made known, or we have things done a little differently, which is here with the metamorphosis butterfly. It says, be open, embrace change, time, evolution of the soul, reinvent yourself. And we had both come out, men and woman, right? So this is like you, or the querent, a person a boyfriend, fiance, spouse, a girlfriend, fiance, spouse, or love interest, right? So I feel like basically the both of you are going to have a metamorphosis. You're going to reinvent yourselves. You're going to come out differently than you went in to this situation. So, right, you guys had an arrival and a departure, but now you're renovating, now you're changing, you're moving, you're giving birth to this new you, for this partnership, this agreement, this next level, this union with the Empress and the 2 of Cups, the person that you're meant to be with. So basically, yeah, maybe you dealt with somebody that was like, oh, I don't know, but now they're figuring out what they want, where they want to go in life, how they want to get there, who they want, how, like, if this is what I want in life, and this is where I want to be, and this is the lifestyle I want to have, and I want to feel love, and I want to feel good in the mind, and I feel like somebody can keep up with me logically, and somebody that like challenges me a little bit, so that I feel like I have to, persist a little. I want, like, because a lot of times men and women, it's like the woman needs to be the nurturer, the lover, the receiver. She's very receptive. She doesn't do a whole lot of like action, like in terms of stuff, like when you think of feminine energy, it's like, I'm gonna take a nap, okay? But the guy is more so like, I'm gonna pursue, I'm gonna run, I'm gonna dominate, I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna take action. And basically, that dominating will to win, that persisting energy inside of me to get it done, to have that drive to be successful, is what's going to keep things going. So you need to learn how to basically transform maybe the part of yourself that was always doing or giving too much, or back at people chase in the beginning of these things. They're like, I'm going to chase, like the women chase the men. It's like, no, you don't do that. You just sit back and you allow them to pursue and to do and to take action and to be like the one that's like doing those things, because then this is always sparked and always fired up, and it's always doing and coming, running, chemistry, basically using that energy and using what you have here for a connection with the love, the mind, like basically just keeping them in that energy of pursuing, but in an evolution of a way that this is like positive, so that, because like if you're always doing, you're always giving, you're always allowing too much, then like they get what they want and they leave. So if you don't do that anymore, and you instead challenge the mind, challenge the body, challenge all of those things, then they will always continue to, show up for that Empress. She knows how to balance and embody all of those energies. And if it's her true partner, the true person she's meant to be with, then he'll know how to show up to do those things, and she'll still know how to be in the right vibration for that to be the case, that they're still feeling like, okay, like I gotta try, I'm not, like, basically, instead of looking at it like conquering and winning, it's like the entire thing. It's an evolution of the entire thing. Like, I'm always trying to do better with you by my side, rather than like, conquering you and then leaving. So it's basically, it's basically having those aha moments, the discoveries, the breakthrough, revealing, revitalizing, enlightenment, the invention, the epiphany moments. I feel like both of you are going to be having those and eating, and that's what's needed here to figure out for the longevity of things, to be victorious, to be successful, so that you have that good reputation, rather than like being the reputation of like the douchebag that's like, I'll bet it, whatever, hit it, quit it. So that you get the awards, the achievements, so you can be the emperor and the empress, not like the empress and somebody that's kind of a douche, right? Like, or the good guy, the emperor, with the idiot girl that can't get her shit together, or causes problems and drama and karma and like the karmics, right? So, because in the karmic situations, a lot of times like women are like, well, why do they stay in a commitment with them, but like they don't? It's because like that bitchy energy's there, right? They're very controlling, manipulative. They're in the wounded feminine energy, which goes well with the wounded masculine energy. But if you heal both aspects, if you heal the feminine, you heal the masculine, those wounded things go away. And you don't need to be manipulative. You don't need to play games. You don't need to do stupid shit with each other. You can be victorious and still have the fire, the desire, and the drive, and the commitment, and the all of the things that both sides want, with the excitement and all of the other parts of it that people feel like they're going to lose when they, do this stuff. So you have this unconditional love, the divine union, the legendary eternal love, infinity, the love of a lifetime, with your deep commitment, uncommon bond, the reawakening of lost hopes, and the manifesting of the deep desires. But it's also like embracing like who man is and woman is, and like I was learning about like some tantric stuff, and how we all are in our lives, like, and it gets portrayed out into the media, like in movies and in tons of ways, like it's everywhere and it's all over the place, and it's very like reptilian and like, or cat-like even, like the dance between the man and the woman. She wants a man who can be like strong and solid, like the emperor, right? Strong, solid. And when he is, she like constricts around him. So like that's like basically sex, right? You think of like she constricts around him for when he's solid and strong and powerful. But if he's not that way, then it's like she doesn't get like that. She also needs this. She also needs to have that drive, that like that will to want, that desire, that energy. Like if a guy is too nice, he's too nice. She doesn't want him. She's just like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't. You're not. There's no like. I want. There's no this, right? Like everybody. I say this all the time. Like everybody wants what they can't have. But it's not even that. It's not even that you can't have. It's or wanting what you can't have. It's wanting something that is like worth having. You know. So if somebody's constantly like, here you can just have it. It's like it doesn't really mean anything. It's not valuable. Like I'm just gonna throw it on the side. Like whatever. Like you can have that. I don't want it. When it's like that, when we treat ourselves that way, or we act in those ways by maybe not taking care of ourselves, or doing too much for people that we shouldn't do that shit for, or putting up with too many things that we shouldn't be putting up with because we care, or whatever it is, this goes away. You know, this isn't there. So no matter what, man or woman, this has to be in there, mixed within. And you need to learn the balance. The man needs to learn how to be solid and not so like swayed by everything that moves, or every person that like because women are very provocative. They have sex appeal, right? So a lot of us don't even realize what we're doing, or know that we're like flirting or doing this dance between a man and a woman. It happens naturally, but a lot of men can't be that solid guy. There's like 10% of men that can be him, that can be solid. Like the other ones, they're gonna run away, or they're gonna be distracted by the girl doing the dance, or the girl batting her eyelashes, or the whatever the hell it is, somebody doing something somewhere. When they can't stand strong and solid and like not be moved by that, like then it's not like she doesn't want it, because it's like she's not going to be successful there. So it's like she might as well like, oh, all right, you're gonna be moved by like every little twitch or every little move or every little shake, then like you don't bring that drive or that competition, or that the right energy that I need to get me to be her and to stay there in that great place with that uncommon bond with somebody that keeps that spark and that fire and that drive and that stamina and that love and that passion. And the guy also needs her to know how to like not like lie or manipulate or try to use sex in a way that's like, oh, let me use this to get something, or to keep you around, or to keep you with your eyes on me. And then like if she constricts too much, that's when they're like, I want to run away. So you got to learn how to like let them have their freedom and trust that you're enough, and that they're solid enough that they're not going to be looking in other directions. They're not going to be chasing after everything that moves. There's not going to be those issues, because you are the one that is the head of the pack. Like they would be stupid to go anywhere else. They would be stupid to even acknowledge or think about or pursue something somewhere else, because it's beneath them, it's beneath you, it's beneath the level that you're at. So you have to embody that, give the freedom, and let that stuff be. And then they need to be able to show up and be solid and strong and not swayed or moved by every little passion or every little person out there. And when you can find that balance with each other, you can explore with each other and grow with each other and like deepen things sexually, emotionally, physically, mentally, financially, in all of the ways. And it's like a spiritual level of commitment. It's a spiritual level of passion and desire and drive. It's like the tantric path. It's an awakening path. People look at tantric energy as like sex. That's part of it, but it's our whole life, and it's who we are as a person. So if you're not dealing with somebody that can embody the right thing, you're not going to embody the right thing. You're going to do things that don't really maybe even make sense to you. They're going to do things that don't make sense to them. But it's like, it's the psychology of stuff too. Like if a guy was like abused in his early age by a woman, they're more likely to abuse women later on in their life that are the type of woman that wants to be dominated, but also doesn't really understand that, and then so she might even end up being furtherly messed up and then do something to hurt him physically, and it goes back and forth. It's crazy. There's so many levels in it, but I've been learning about that, and it makes sense for the way that a lot of stuff plays out. So basically, if you're the woman, you want to constrict around a hard guy, but you don't want to constrict to the point where they're like immobile. Like, you don't want to make them so that they die, right? You don't want to kill them, or you don't want to paralyze them. You don't want to make it so that it's like shitty. Like, you see these people who are married with no sex, or the people who are just together just for whatever reason, they're not even happy. You don't want that. You want to have like that fire, that like freedom, and that knowing that there's nobody else that's going to be able to do what you do, or be who you are, or to give what you give. So you don't have to worry about it. And when you don't worry about it, you don't create that resistance or that energy that like makes it leave, and they won't run away. And if you have somebody that like if you can find and strike that balance with that dude that's solid and all of that, and you're good in your head, and you're good in your mind and your energy, when they finish, they stay. They don't leave. They're not going to run away. They're not going to ghost because they got what they wanted, and now they feel successful, so they got the victory, and they go off to the next one, the next one, the next one. So sometimes it comes down to finding a dude that can be the dude, but it also comes down to being the woman that can be in that vibe that needs to be withheld, so that you can both be successful, so you can both be victorious, so you can both know who your reputation is, and who you're putting yourself out there with, and where you're headed in life. So there needs to be that transformation of both parties, if they're not there right now, or like if they want to have that fulfillment, or they want things to just end in a right way with the commitment and the bond and the thing, without the loss of this, and without the loss of freedom, and without the loss of like that drive and that stamina, and that I'm gonna win, I'm gonna achieve, I'm gonna have it all. Like, that needs to remain for both parties, and it has to also include this to keep the excitement and the drive. So if you're on the other side of the mountain, figure out what your issues are to heal your trauma and your karma and your belief systems and your subconscious programming. Figure out the aha moments that have been keeping you stuck, or keeping you from having that reawakening and awakening to new levels that you can dive into for that uncommon bond. And look, there's the snake. That deception, jealousy, betrayal, backstabbing, toxic, silent treatment, all of that shit, that's not a part of it. You don't need that. You won't need that if you have a death of those parts of the self that are insecure, or feeling like whatever, like I'm not good enough. Like, it usually comes from our own shit, our own belief systems, our own crap, but we project it onto each other. We hurt each other because of our own crap that maybe we had happen as a kid, or in our relationships, or we saw on TV, or our belief system took on, or we just don't feel like we're deserving of, or whatever. And when we throw ourselves like we don't mean nothing, we're nothing, that's how other people perceive us to be. So we have to have a commitment to ourselves in order to have a commitment with another person, renovate ourselves, have the rebirth of ourselves, and then change and get focused, trusting, supportive, and allow ourselves to know that it's going to make it, it's going to last, it's going to be able to continue on, because it's going to develop over time, it's going to get stronger. So we're going to be leaving a legacy, we're going to be ripening, aging well. Our resources, our investments are going to be prosperous. We're going to have like a good income. We're going to multiply what we put out there, and we're going to have our wishes come true. We're going to be independent, cool, idealistic, original, detached, intellectual individualists in our lives. And basically taking that energy of transmutation of where we are now and who we are now, and just evolving into a better version of it on all levels, and then expressing that back and forth to each other in a way that's like that dance. It's that sacred karmic cycle of things playing out, but it's like being in control of it too, because you being in control of your destiny and where you're headed when you are strong, and when you have that wise, supportive telepathy with somebody. You're focused on your power, and you're not letting like all these other distractions influence you or other people's ideas come on in. You see through the fucking bullshit. You see through the facade. You see where and who you can deal with, and where and who you should like release yourself from, and then you know, go towards it and have it, and it all comes together where, you know, things can play out in a great way. So you got to know where you're going, who you're going there with, get on that quest, become faithful, and enjoy yourself. And that's when life gets a lot easier, and we have that better situation, you know. So we end up with a love, heart's desire, content, forgiveness, the fulfillment, the kindness, all of those good things that most people want. And we have a purposeful self-realization with the inner child. We have the reason over instinct, again, because that's a lot of it too. Like our instincts are to do certain things, and when we give in to those instincts, we basically screw ourselves over, because it's like that reptile part of us that's like constrict, kill, or mate, and run, and freedom, and like all these things. It's all basically comes down to, you know, getting our minds to be more stronger than our drives and our desires, but not killing our desires and our drives, allowing those to be. And these 4 cards were like down over here when I picked up the deck earlier. So we have justice. Look, consummate, diplomat, refined, just, accommodating, kind, desires, harmony, and balance, sociable, artistic, indirect, a good sign, an omen, the baggage, the burdens, feeling curse, guilt, shame, and regret. So it's like all of those things need to be cleared away, all those burdens, those guilts, those shames, the regrets, because like shame is a big thing too that people carry into sex and partnerships and love and relationships, and who I am as a person, and feeling shameful about who you are, where you've been, and what you want, and what you do. It's like, no, don't do that. You know, look at the good signs in life and allow things to become just and balanced. Ignite the fires and the efforts, and, you know, spark those flames of passion and drive and all of that good, you know, sexy stuff, so that you can have the good climax and the pride, the success, the vigor, the divine masculine with the divine feminine, and you can say yes in a way that doesn't say, you know, no at the same time, or in a way that isn't gonna blow up or catastrophize or end badly. Again, successfully having the ending be good and something that's willing to continue. It's something that you want to pursue, and have that legendary divine union between 2 people who are divine on that level of being. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Hopefully that helps somebody out. And MUNAY, namaste.